Hi everyone, so welcome back to my channel Mathematic Girl Swati 3226. In today's video, we are going to cover a very important topic of class 11, that is limits. So we have, these two topics together, limits and derivatives, but I'm not going to, include derivatives here because the video will be too long. So yes, in this particular video, we will only solve the questions of limits. Okay. So let's start with the first question of the limit. I'll take questions, I'll explain you step by step, and then like that we will cover today's video because this video is actually the practice video where we are going to practice questions. That is the most important thing in maths. So yes, before we start with the first question that you can see on the screen, just want to tell you if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. So yes, let's start with the solution. All right. So you can see the first question is limit x is going towards 3, x square minus 9 upon x minus 3, right? So x is going towards 3 or x tends to 3, whatever you want to say. Okay, so you can just say anything. Limit x tends to 3, x square minus 9 upon x minus 3. So what we can do, we have to simplify this. The very first thing that I want to tell you here, that you should not get a 0 by 0 form. What is the meaning of this 0 by 0 form? Because this is an indeterminate form. You cannot simplify like this. For example, this value of x that is going towards 3, that if you put directly in the value at the place of x, so this will become 3 square minus 9 and denominator also 3 minus 3. 3 square is 9, 9 minus 9 and 3 minus 3 is 0. So 9 minus 1 is 0, 0 by 0. This is an indeterminate form. This is something that we cannot use. That is why whenever you're looking at the question and you are thinking that, okay, if I directly put the value of x, I'm getting a 0 by 0 form. Do not put the value directly. Instead, you can simplify that and then you can put the value of x. So here, what is the one thing that I'm going to do? This is limit x tends to 3 as it is. I'm going to write down this x square minus 9. So x square as it is, I can write down 9 as 3 square and upon x minus 3. Now I can clearly see that in the numerator, we are having a formula a square minus b square. We all know this formula a square minus b square. It is simply a minus b times a plus b, right? So a minus b, that means x minus 3, a plus b, that means x plus 3. Now we have x minus 3 in the denominator as well. Clearly, this and this will get cancelled. So we are left with just limit x tends to 3 and then x plus 3. Now you can see that if you put the value of x, it will not be an indeterminate form. That is why this will become 3 plus 3, that is 6. So this is the first solution. Now let's move to the next. So the second question is exactly similar to the first one. So let us quickly start with the solution. So here again, we cannot put the value of x, that is half, directly because that will give our answer in the form of 0 by 0. That is an indeterminate form. That is why we will simplify this. So the question is limit x tends to half 4x square minus 1 upon 2x minus 1. So if you want, you can also check by putting the value of this x, that is half, in this particular question, you will get the 0 by 0 form. So let us simplify this. Very simple. We can clearly see it's 4x squared that we can write down as 2x whole square because that will be 4x square only. Minus this 1 I can write down as 1 square. Now, like when you practice, questions in math, especially in these, integration, derivation, limits, all these topics, trigonometries, you will only realize eventually that, okay, what do you have to do exactly? So that is why the practice is very important. Okay. So let's write down limit x tends to half. And then again, in the numerator, we have the same formula, that is a square minus b square, that is a minus b, a plus b. So using that formula, of course, this will become 2x minus 1 times 2x plus 1. And then upon 2x minus 1. Now, of course, this 2x minus 1, 2x minus will get cancelled. So we are getting limit x tends to half and then 2x plus 1. Now, whatever is the value of x, that is half. Now, we can put it here. So 2 into 1 by 2 plus 1. Now, of course, 2 into half, that is 1 only. That is 1 plus 1. The answer is So this was the second solution. Now let's move to the third question. So the next question is a little different from the previous two. Here in this question, basically we are going to use one formula. Okay, so this is question number 3. So let's start with the solution directly. We have here limit x tends to a, and this is 2 plus x raised to 5 by 2 minus a plus 2 raised to 5 by 2. In the denominator, I'm going to do something. I'm going to add 2. See, x minus a I have written as it is. Now I'm going to add here 2 and subtract 2. It does not make any difference to our expression. So that is why we can balance it out. So added 2 and subtracted 2. Now in the next step, I'm just going to put one bracket. So the numerator will be as it is, 2 plus x raised to 5 by 2 minus a plus 2 raised to 5 by 2. In the denominator, we have x plus 2 that we will write down in the bracket. And then this a minus 2. Before this a minus 2, we have a minus sign. So I'll write down that minus sign. And now this a minus 2, if I put in bracket, so this will become a plus 2, right? Now, after this, we are going to use a formula. And what is the formula I'm going to write down here? If we have limit x tends to a, x raised to n minus a raised to n upon x minus a. If we have this form, then the answer is n into a raised to n minus 1. So if I just consider this entire thing as x and this entire thing as a. So we are having this form x raised to n, that is n is 5 by 2, a plus 2 raised to 5 by 2 upon x minus a, that is x plus 2 minus a plus 2. So using this formula, where treating 2 plus x as the single x and a plus 2 as a single a of this formula, we can write down n into a. What is n? N is this 5 by 2, the power. What is a here? A is not just a, but a plus 2, right? Raised to n minus 1. So 5 by 2 minus 1. So what this will become? 5 by 2 as it is. This is a plus 2. And here if I take LCM, this will become 5 minus 2 by 2, that is 3 by 2. So yes, that is the answer. And now we can move to the next question. So this is our fourth question. And in this question, we simply have to rationalize the function because that is the best thing that we can do here. So limit x tends to 1. Remember, all these questions are very important questions that I'm covering. All these are NCERT questions. So make sure you understand all these questions properly step by step. So x raised to 4 minus root x upon the root x minus 1. So here I'm not writing few things, but of course you can just add all those things whenever you write down all these questions in your exams, by rationalizing the denominator. So of course I'm rationalizing the denominator here. So of course root x plus 1 I'll multiply and root x plus 1 I'll divide. Now simply numerator will get multiplied by the numerator. So this is x raised to 4 minus root x times root x plus 1. And in the denominator, we are having root x minus 1 times root x plus 1, right? And after this, what we can do is limit x tends to 1, right? Here, using distributive property in the numerator, this will become x raised to 4 times root x plus x raised to 4 times 1, that is x raised to 4 only, minus root x times root x, that is root x square, right? Root x square is basically x only, square and root will get cancelled, which I'm going to cancel in the next step. And then minus into plus is minus, root x into 1 is root x. Upon, in the denominator, of course, we can see a formula that is a minus b into a plus b. We all know the formula of a minus b into a plus b. We discussed it already, a square minus b square. So root x square minus 1 square, that is 1 only. Now, this will become limit x tends to 1. So this is x raised to 4 root x plus x raised to 4 minus, this will become x only because square and root will get cancelled, minus root x. And then upon, we have root and square again will get cancelled, so just x minus 1. Now numerator, we can simplify further by writing the roots term together and the other terms together. So of course, I can write down this as limit x tends to 1. The root term, that is x raised to 4 root x minus root x together, and then this plus x raised to 4 minus x together upon x minus 1. Now what we can do, I will just take something common from the numerator from the first two terms, and that is root x. So if I take that root x common, I left with x raised to 4 and then minus 1. And here, if I take just x common, so I'll be left with x cube minus 1, right? And then in the denominator, of course, x minus 1 as it is. Now, of course, we can simplify the numerator even more, okay? So for that, root x as it is, here x raised to 4, I can write down as x square minus 1, we can write down as 1 square, right? Plus x. This x I can also write down as x cube in this way, and then 1 I can write down as 1 cube, okay? And then of course upon x minus 1. Now in the numerator, you can notice we are having two formulas. One is a square minus b square, and another is a cube minus b cube. A cube minus b cube. So a square minus b square, you already know the formula, a minus b into a plus b. So I can write down here directly the formula. So a minus b, that means here a is a x square, right? So a minus b and then a plus b, right? And then plus x times, here a cube minus b cube. You should know the formula of a cube minus b cube. So the formula is a minus b times a square plus ab plus b square. So using this formula, this will become x minus 1 times x square, because a square plus ab, that means x, and then plus b square, that is 1 only, right? And then upon x minus 1. Now we can simplify the numerator once again further. So for that, what are we going to do? You can see that we are still having the formula a square minus b square here. So I can write down this 1 as 1 square with a little smaller width. That would be okay, yeah. So I'll change the color, yeah. So this will become limit x tends to 1. This is root x as it is, and inside the bracket, this is in the formula of a square minus b square, that is going to be a minus b into a plus b. So x minus 1 into x plus 1. And then of course, another x plus 1. So that x plus 1 and this x plus 1 will become x plus 1 square, plus x into x minus 1 into x square plus x plus 1. And then upon, okay, 1 second. And then we have upon x minus 1. So now what I can do from the numerator, I will take x. This was little long, but not at all difficult, because all the, like steps that we are doing, it's very simple. You just need to use the formulas. So you can notice here that here we have x minus 1, here also we have x minus 1. Now this x minus 1, I can take common. Once I take this x minus 1 common, I'm going to write down here root x, this x plus 1 whole square as it is, plus x as it is. This x minus 1 is already outside, so x square plus x plus 1. And then upon x minus 1 as it is. Of course, this and this will get cancelled. And now we can put the value of x, 1 directly. So root 1, that is 1 only. And then 1 plus 1 whole square plus 1 times 1 square, that is 1 plus 1 plus 1. So what is this? 1 times, you can just skip that, 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 square is 4, plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, 3, and that is 3 only, and 4 plus 3 is 7. So 7 is the answer of this question. This was a little long, but I hope you understood this. All right, now we can move to the next question. So this is our next question. Of course, this question also we are going to, this is basically similar to the last question that we solved just now. It is also a rationalization question. Of course, how come, like one can understand whether you have to rationalize or not, because you see roots in the denominator. So whenever you see roots in the denominator, that is, a trick you can say, or a method to understand that, okay, you have to rationalize. Okay, so limit x tends to 2. In the numerator, we have x square minus 4 writing as it is upon this root 3x minus 2 minus root x plus 2. If I'm rationalizing this, I'll write down the denominator. This is how we rationalize. Writing the same term in the, whatever is in the denominator, we have to write down the same terms with the opposite sign in between. Okay, so this minus will become plus. And here also it's the same thing. 3x minus 2 plus root x plus 2. Now in the numerator, you can see that we are having x square minus 4, that we can also write down as x square minus 2 square, right? And then this getting multiplied, so I can write down root 3x minus 2 plus root x plus 2 as it is. In the denominator, we are actually having the formula, like they are actually in the form that is a minus b into a plus b, where a is root 3x minus 2 and b is root x plus 2. So using the formula, a very famous formula that we are doing from so long now. So it's a square minus b squared. So it is actually root 3x minus 2, the a square minus b square, right? Now this will become limit x tends to 2. So in the numerator, we are having a square minus b square form. So of course, using the formula, it will become a minus b into a plus b. And then this will become root 3x plus 2 plus root x plus 2. In the denominator, of course, square and root will get cancelled. So this will become 3x minus 2 minus, here also square and root will get cancelled. And even here, I'm removing the bracket. So this will become x minus 2, right? So what next? Of course, I'm going to just solve the denominator here. So this will become limit x tends to 2 as it is. This is x minus 2 times x plus 2. And this is root 3x plus 2 plus root x plus 2 as it is. Just wanted to check, yeah. Upon 3x minus x, of course, that is 2x. And minus 2 is minus 4. Now, after this, what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to take 2 common in the from the denominator. Otherwise, writing the rest terms in the numerator as it is. So, root 3x plus 2 plus root x plus 2. In the denominator, we are having 2x minus 4. So, from that, I'll take 2 common. So, this is x minus 2. Now, of course, this x minus 2 will get cancelled. And now we can directly put the value of x, that is 2. So, 2 plus 2, root 3 times 2, that is 6, plus 2, plus root 2 plus 2. And then, of course, we have upon 2 as well. Now, of course, you can ask one thing, that how did I realize that here only I have to put the value of 2? Because I have already observed that now, if I put the value of the limit, it will not be in the indeterminate form, it is 0 by 0 form. So that you have to decide. If you put the value of this x, that is 2, in the first step, you will see that you will not get the, you'll get the 0 by 0 form. That is it. So 2 plus 2 is 4. And in the bracket, we have root 6 plus 2, that is root 8, plus root 2 plus 2, that is root 4, that is 2 only. And this is 2. So of course, this will get cancelled. So 2 times 2 is 4. So we are getting 2. And inside bracket, we have root 8 plus 2. So yes, this is the answer. If you want, you can also simplify this. Root 8, that is 2 root 2. If you want, you can write down. So let's do that as well. So this will become 2 root. We can write down root 8 as 2 root 2 and then plus 2. How? Let us see. So root 8 we can write down as 2 times 2 times 2. Now this 2 will come outside because that is in the pair. So 2 root 2. That is how it came this way. Now if I take this 2 common outside the bracket, so this will become just root 2 plus 1. So 2 times 2 is 4. And inside the bracket we have root 2 plus 1. So this is the answer. Okay, so I'm extremely sorry. I have just done one mistake here, because here we are having 3x minus 2. I have taken everywhere plus. That is the mistake. So I'll quickly erase this part. because there it is minus and by mistake I have taken plus sign. So you can just cross check. Yeah. So yeah, if you want, you can have a look at it, that how it is actually root 3x minus 2, right? So see root 3x minus 2 here by mistake, like I have taken plus, so minus sign. Here see, it's minus sign, not plus sign. Okay, so that was the mistake. So minus 2. Here also it's minus 2. And now we can simplify this. So now we will get, of course, a different answer because it is now minus 2. All right, so this will become now 6 minus 2, right? So 6 minus 2 will not be 8, right? So I can just erase this part. Yeah. So this will become 2 plus 2, 4, and this will become root 6 minus 2, that is root 4, that is 2 only, plus this is also 2 only because root 4 is 2. And then this is 2, so 2 times 2 is 4. And this will become 2 times 2 plus 2 is 4, and the answer is 8. So 8 is the answer. Okay, that was by mistake. All right, now we can move to the next question. So this is our next question. So looking at this question, of course, we can say that we cannot rationalize it. And if we directly put the value of x, that will give us 0 by 0. That is an indeterminate form. Then what can we do in this case? So in this case, we are going to use a formula, or I can say a rule, and that is called L Hospital. Some people say L Hospital and some say L Hospital rule. So I just know L Hospital, so I'll write on L Hospital rule. What is this L Hospital rule? Like what does it say? It simply says that you have to get rid of that 0 upon 0, that indeterminate form, you simply have to differentiate the numerator as well as denominator till you will not get the 0 by 0 form. So let us first differentiate one time and check whether we are getting the 0 by 0 form or not. So limit x tends to 1. Using L'Hopital rule, of course, you can write it. I have written it over here. So the derivative of x raised to n will become 7x raised to 6. How? Let's understand. So derivative of x raised to n has a formula n into x raised to n minus 1, right? So that 7 has come here, that was n, and then x raised to n minus 1, that is 6. So using the same formula, this 2 as it is, x raised to 5 will become 5x raised to 5 minus 1, that is 4, plus derivative of constant, that you should remember, the derivative of any constant number alone is 0. So that is 0. Upon, here x cube will become 3x square minus this will become 3, x square derivative is 2x, plus again derivative of 2 is 0. Now this will become limit x tends to 1, 7x raised to 6 minus 2 times 5, 10x raised to 4 upon, this is 3x square and this is 6x. So here I can see one thing, that if I directly put the value of x, let's just put the value of x and let's see whether we are getting the 0 by 0 form or not. If you are getting just 0 in the numerator, that is not a problem. 0 upon any non-zero number is 0 only, that we know. But it should not get, 0 by 0 and anything by 0. So yeah, let's put 7 times x raised to 6, that is 1 raised to 6 is 1 only, so 7 times 1 is 7. Similarly, minus 10 only, and this is 3 only, and this is 6 only. So 7 minus 10 is minus 3, and 3 minus 6 is minus 3. That is 1, which is absolutely okay. So this is the answer of this question. Now we can move to the next question. So in this particular question, again, we can see roots again. So of course, we're going to rationalize, but this time we are going to rationalize the numerator. So let's start. Limit x tends to 0. And then we have root over 1 plus x cube minus root over 1 minus x cube upon x square. So rationalizing the numerator, meaning we will write down the same term as it is with the opposite sign. So minus will become plus, and this is root over 1 minus x cube. We will write down the same thing in the denominator. So sometimes we rationalize the denominator and sometimes we rationalize the denominator. Okay. Now, of course, in the numerator, you can see that we are having a form a plus b into a minus b or a minus b into a plus b. So using the formula a minus b into a plus b, a square minus b square, using that formula, this will become 1 plus x cube only, because square and root will get cancelled, minus, this will become again 1 minus x cube only, because square and root will get cancelled. How? Again, I'm writing it here using the formula a minus b into a plus b is a square minus b square. All right. Okay, so now we can just write down on the denominator x square root over 1 plus x cube plus root over 1 minus x cube. All right. Now in the numerator, if you just remove the bracket, it will simply become 1 plus x cube minus 1, and then minus into minus is plus. Of course, this is x cube, and in the denominator, we are having a different thing. Let's just see that. Yes, so this will become x square, and here we have root over 1 plus x cube plus root over 1 minus x cube. Clearly, this 1 and minus 1 will get cancelled. So what we are getting is limit x tends to 0. X cube plus x cube is 2x cube upon x square as it is. And this is 1 plus x cube plus root over 1 minus x cube. Now here I can see that this is x cube and this is x square. So of course that will become limit x tends to 0, only 2x upon root over 1 plus x cube plus root over 1 minus x cube. Now imagine here I'm putting the value of limit, that is 0. So let's just put that in the denominator first. So this is 1 plus 0 cube, that is 1 only, and plus 1 minus 0 cube, that is again 1 only, and this is 2 into 0. So what are we getting? We are getting 2 times 0, that is 0. But in the denominator, we are not getting 0. Root 1 is 1 and root 1 is 1. So 1 plus 1 is 2. 0 upon any non-zero number, that is not an indeterminate form. That is absolutely fine. And we know the answer of 0 divided by any number is 0 only. So the answer is 0. All right, let's move to the next question. This question is very, very simple. We have to find n if limit x tends to 2, x raised to n minus 2 raised to n upon x minus 2 equals 80. For n belongs to, like, small n belongs to capital N. Capital N here is the natural number. So very simple, we have to simply find out the value of n where we are given this condition. Okay, so we are going to use a formula for this that we have already used. So limit x tends to 2, x raised to n minus 2 raised to n upon x minus 2 is equal to 80. So what is the formula that we are going to use here? That is limit x tends to a, x raised to n minus a raised to n upon x minus a. This is nothing but our n times a raised to n minus 1. So using this formula, this will become n into 2, right, raised to n minus 1. So we'll write on n minus 1 only. And this will become 80, right? So what we have got here, we have got n times 2 raised to n minus 1 equals 80. And now what we can do here, we can simply write down this as 2 raised to n minus 1 equals 80. 80, and then we, so basically we have to write down this 80 as its factor. So this n I'm writing again as it is only. So 80 I can write down as, if I try to find out the factors, it will become 2 times 40, 2 times 20, and then 2 times 10, and then 2 times 5, right? So I can write down this here as this 80 as 5 times 2 raised to 4, right? And this I'm writing as it is, n into 2 raised to n minus 1. So the next step, n into 2 raised to n minus 1. So 5 into 2 raised to, I can write down 4 as 5 minus 1. And here you can notice that this n is here times 2 times 2, n minus 1, 5 minus 1. So if you just compare both sides, of course, the value of n will be 5 only, right? So here also n is 5 at the place of n, and here at the place of n also 5. So therefore, n is equal to 5 is the answer. So now we can move to the second last question of this video. So let's get started for the second last question. This is a very simple formula based question. Here what I'm going to do is limit x tends to 0. I'm writing as it is. And here I'm just going to multiply and divide something. So sine square 2x, I'm going to divide here by 4x squared. And if I have divided, I'll multiply also to balance it out. Similarly, in the denominator, sine square 4x, so I'm going to divide first by 16x square, and I'll multiply also. Of course, that we can do. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down this as limit x tends to 0. This sine square 2x, I'm going to write down as 2x. And then this 4x square also I'm going to write down as 2x only. And this raised to whole square that we can write down. And here, of course, x square will get cancelled. So you can write down here 4 upon 16. And in the denominator, of course, I'm going to do the same thing. Sine 4x upon this 16x square, I can write down as 4x. And then this raised to whole square. Now, this is very simple. There is one property of limit that we are going to use here, and that is the limit will be distributed in the numerator as well as in the denominator. Of course, this 4 upon 16, if you want, you can simplify it. So it is 1 upon 4, so that you can write down outside the limit because that's a constant. So limit will get distributed. So limit x tends to 0, sine 2x, and then upon 2x whole square. So that we can also write down like this. That is absolutely okay. You can write down like this also. And then the limit will go in the denominator as well. So this will become sine 4x upon 4x and then whole square. There is a formula, and the formula is limit x tends to 0, sine x upon x will be equal to 1. So here it says limit x tends to 0, sine 2x. Even if you put here, 0, it will be sine 0, right? So this actually is in this form, right? So using this formula, we can write down here directly that the value of the numerator will be 1 square, that is 1 only, and the value of the denominator is also 1 square, that is 1 only. So therefore, the answer is 1 upon 4. So this is the answer. Now we can move to the last question of this video. So this is our last question for today, and let's just simplify this. Very simple formula based question. Limit x tends to 0. 1 minus here cos 2x. I'm going to use a formula, and the formula is actually, we know that 1 minus cos 2x is 2 sine square x, right? So from here, if I shift this 2 sine square x to the left side, so that will become minus 2 sine square x, and minus cos 2x to the other side, so that will become plus cos 2x, right? So therefore, the formula of cos 2x we can use is 1 minus 2 sine square x, right? Now this will become limit x tends to 0. I'll remove the brackets from the numerator. So 1 minus 1 minus minus will become plus 2 sine square x upon x square. Now, of course, this 1 and minus 1 will get cancelled. That is 0. So next step, we will have limit x tends to 0. And this is 2 is a constant. So that 2 I can write on outside the limit. Sine square x upon x square. Very simple, just the way we did in the last question. We will write down this square as the whole. So this will become sine x upon x whole square. That we can also write down like this. Now, using the formula that I have already written, that limit x tends to 0, sine x upon x is 1. So using this formula, it will become 2 times 1 square, right, which is 1 only. So 2 times 1 is 2, and that's the answer. So that is it. This is the end of the video. I hope you understood each and every question. Again, this is one part of the video. The second part of the video I'm going to upload by tomorrow or day after tomorrow, where a little difficult and twisted questions will be there of the limits only, and all the questions are going to be from Ncert Exemplar solutions only. So yes, thank you so much for watching my video, and once again, I'll just tell you that if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends and families. Thank you so much.